Hello and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Tuesday, the 25th of November. I'm your host, Daniel. But before we get into it, at the end of this, I'm just going to talk about some Black Friday deals that I'm giving you a heads up on before they become public, as stock is pretty limited with shirts and hoodies. So, check that out at the end of the podcast. Today, we're going to talk about the US Army Secretary Driscoll is meeting with a Russian delegation in Abu Dhabi, officials say. The Chinese president has pledged to strengthen development strategy in alignment with Tonga. And Pakistani airstrikes killed 10 in Afghanistan. So firstly, the US Army Secretary Dan Driscoll has held talks with Russian officials in Abu Dhabi on Monday. A US official has told Reuters that as the latest efforts by President Donald Trump's administration to broker a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. The meeting comes after US and Ukrainian officials sought to narrow the gaps between them over a plan to end the war in Ukraine, agreeing to modify a US proposal that Kiev and its European allies saw as a Kremlin wish list. So what? It'll be interesting to see what actually comes out next, because there's been, as I talked about yesterday, huge amounts of controversy around this deal and how it's been presented publicly. It's been an absolute shambles, to be completely honest. So the next plan that the US goes public with is going to be pretty key, and it will really show where things are kind of going in this peace agreement, in this the negotiations. So yeah, I think that's one to keep an eye on over the next few days and weeks to see what gets leaked, how Russia starts reacting, and what people start talking about. It's a pretty critical time for the conflict. And next, China's President Xi Jinping on Tuesday pledged to strengthen an alignment of development strategies with Tonga and expand cooperation in fields such as trade, investment, infrastructure, and clean energies. The state agency, I cannot pronounce that, a state newspaper said. China will continue to provide support to Tonga's economy and social development within the framework of South-South cooperation, Xi told visiting Tonga's King Tupou VI in a meeting held in Beijing. So what? China has made influence within the Pacific a pretty key strategy over recent years, and especially during my time in the military, and I've been out for 5 years, so they've probably been heavily involved in the Pacific for well over 10 years now, and they're making great headway, which is not good for New Zealand and Australia, who are traditionally seen as the key partner for Pacific nations. China has come in essentially with no limits and provided economic support and aid, building and infrastructure that, New Zealand and Australia just really weren't giving them. We kind of fell off the ball there in a pretty big way. But the kind of shit part is, like, New Zealand and Australia has supported these communities these countries for so long. There's large Tongan, Fijian, Samoan populations in both countries, and yeah, but then for China to come in and start kind of wooing them, it's not been taken well within the New Zealand and Australian governments. So this meeting and its fallout will again not be seen well, will not be appreciated by the New Zealand and Australian governments, who see these Pacific nations as essentially trying to play us off as against each other, which is fair enough from their perspective. Like, why wouldn't you? That's kind of the game. But yeah, it's not ideal. I think New Zealand and Australia should be doing more to try and support these nations and to push China out of the Pacific in terms of influence. But I don't know. With New Zealand's economy, this is New Zealand specific, with New Zealand's economy the way it is, putting money overseas to support these nations is becoming more and more difficult. So, yeah, it's becoming, you kind of see similar things in like the US when things aren't good at home, people get a bit upset when you're spending large amounts of money to support overseas communities. So, yeah. And lastly, Pakistan has carried out airstrikes in eastern Afghanistan that killed at least 10 civilians, including 9 children. Jesus. The 9 children, the Taliban said on Tuesday. A Taliban spokesperson posted on X that Pakistani forces had bombed a house of a local civilian in a Khost province late on Monday, killing a woman and 9 children. He further said that strikes hit Kunar and Patika provinces, wounding 4 civilians. Pakistani authorities have not commented on these strikes. So what? So much for a ceasefire. Like, I think I said it at the time that it's probably not going to last. Like, Pakistan really wants to try and eradicate terrorists that have been hampering their country for many years, that are now hiding in Afghanistan as the Taliban are now back in control. So yeah, they're now essentially in the same situation that the US have been in for many years, bogged down trying to play whack-a-mole with terrorists in Afghanistan, which is, as we're all aware, an extremely difficult task. The civilian kill count, I don't know about that. Shockingly, I'm not going to take the Taliban on their word and believe that these were all civilians. It's likely that Pakistan was targeting someone who was bad, but yeah, I don't know. It seems possible that there's going to be, it seems likely that this type of operation will continue going forward, and possible that it will evolve into a much more intense conflict, possibly going back to firing artillery at each other across the border, as we saw a few weeks ago. So yeah, going back to the Black Friday deals, I've just posted 2 different deals going live. They've got this new supporters coin in it that you can't purchase any other way. It has to come through some kind of supporters pack, which I'll be rolling out over the next few weeks, in different functions, whether it be deals like this Black Friday deal or courses. Just other ways to show support, show my appreciation for supporting the channel, as this shit ain't free. And against what everyone thinks, HM does not make very much money. So yeah, if you want to go check them out, go have a look, because stock on hoodies and shirts are extremely low. And I don't know if I'm going to do it again. Depends. I don't know. It's very cost. It's not a great business venture. I'll be completely honest. But yeah, if you want to go have a look, the link to the shop is down in the description below. So go check them out. I'm going to be publicly posting about them in about 24 hours. So yeah. Anyway, that's been your Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you again tomorrow. See you.